45 meters. Roughly, kung 45 meters yan, times 3, that's about 130 feet. Kung 80, ang times 3 to get feet is 240 feet. No? Ang pagkatapos nitong ridge na ito, nagiging parang ravine na siya. Malalim na malalim, at ang measure dyan is about 300 plus meters. So that's almost already 1,000 feet. Hindi na maaabot yan ng human, ano na yan, pang ROV na yan. No? So dito, this is 1 kilometer. Isang kilometer. By the way, isang kilometro ito.
Wala.
Mic test.
Isang kilometro ito, isang kilometro din ito. So roughly, there's about 250 meters to no more than 300 meters na mga nasa 250 feet up to 300 feet na depth na inaasahan natin, ito yung pinaka-highest probability ng location. Okay? Kung tinangay siya nung underwater currents beyond this line, palalim na yan, super lalim na yan. Mga 1,000 feet na yan at ROV na ang kailanganin dyan. No? Okay. Bakit dito? No? Una, ito yung location kung saan nakita yung mga papel, yung flight manifest kahapon. No? Roughly, a little bit short of that, 150 feet. No? Yan, 55 meters, so 55 times 3 is about 150 feet. Di ba? So dito nakita yung papel somewhere in this vicinity at 150 feet. Ang report ng diver is palalim. No? Palalim yung gradient at palalim ng palalim hanggang dito nasa 240 feet. So dito 150 feet, dito 240 feet roughly. So palalim ng palalim yan. Dito sila ngayon dahil dyan nakakita, that's the last physical evidence na nakita natin, yung flight manifest na papel kahapon, dito sila magsisimula ngayon. Lahat itong pagplan nito, kasama na dyan yung Philippine Navy, kasama na dyan yung Coast Guard, kasama na dyan yung PNP, lahat ng mga maritime na mga expert natin, at kinalkulan nila yung tides, yung current, itong area na ito, talagang malakas ang kuryente dito sa tinatawag na Ticao Channel, at kinalculate nila na malamang yung eroplano not on the surface but on the sea floor already, tinatangay nung kuryente patungo dito. Okay? So dyan sila magko-concentrate itong last dive na ito. Relievo sila, turno-turno. Meron itong first team na mga dayuhan na civilian, sila muna ang magre-reconnoiter. Nakahanda ang ating Navy. There are 4 technical competent ng ating Navy at saka sa Coast Guard. Sila yung susunod in case na may sighting, kasi hindi sila pwedeng tumagal masyado. In case na may sighting, hopefully makapag-mark, masabi kung ano yung coordinates, papasok ngayon yung ating Navy to do the more intensive work. No? Kasi kung na-sight na nga, then they don't waste time having to look around pa. No? Yung matangkad na Amerikano, na Australiano, ang kanyang pinaka-maximum time is 40 minutes sa baba. No? At 250 feet. No? So dagdag mo dyan about 20 minutes going down, tapos so he can only search around about 40 minutes maximum. So yan kasi ang tawag dyan, may rebreather siya. No? Pero kung may makita siya at maubusan na siya ng hangin, then imamark niya, and yung ating Navy naman na technical ang papasok at susunod doon. Okay? Itong area na ito, ang calculation kung bakit itong pinaka-probable, nangyari yan, we work backwards now. No? Ito yung visual reports ng kung saan tumama yung eroplano. No? Nandito tayo ngayon. Yung runway, yung airport is ito. Diba? So yung papasok na sila. In fact, yung salaysay ni John Abrasado is nag-flaps down at saka nag-gear down na. So, yung piloto naghahanda na magla-landing. Ito yung runway. Dito yung sinabi nung mga witnesses kung more or less yung kung saan tumama yung eroplano. After that, dito, somewhere here, yung tinatawag na yung kinayod yung ocean floor, yung seabed. May mga parang yung tinawag na marks or yung tinawag na skid marks, no? Kung saan nakakayod yung ocean floor. Pagkatapos nun, there was about a parang oil slick about 20 feet, no? In diameter. So, based on that, these physical sightings, plus the tides and currents and everything, plus the fact that dito nakita yung papel, yung conclusion na nga ngayon is tinatangay ng underwater currents in this area. Okay, so nandyan tayo ngayon. Lahat ng equipment to do the deep dive is here. There is additional helium and additional gases na kakailanganin, nitrogen, oxygen, etc. na parating in case dives are necessary tomorrow. Nakita naman ninyo lahat ng mga tangke na dinala rito. Kinakargahan ngayon yan ng compressor on board the Coast Guard vessel so that in case na may sightings, then pwede na nila puntahan kaagad. No? There are 4 Navy experts sa tech diving. Itong 3 na dayuhan. There are another 3 coming from Cebu na civilians na dadagdag in case na another team is necessary. No? Ang issue dito is hindi sila pwedeng agad-agad na bumalik after one dive. Halos half a day ang kailangan na surface interval time nila. No? So they can only do maximum 2 dives in a day. And yun lang talaga. So we need teams, relievo yan. No? Okay. Pero we don't want to give the wrong impression. Ito yung mga efforts subsurface. Subsurface ito, no? We are still on a search and rescue. Ibig sabihin, search and rescue. And I'd like to bring your attention to this map. I'd like to bring your attention to this map. Ito yung Ticao Island. Ito yung Masbate. Nandito tayo ngayon. Okay? Kita ninyo, channel ito. As in all instances, pag channel, talagang mabilis ang kuryente dyan. Diba? Kasi sumisikip, so yung tubig bumibilis. No? Hinati-hati ito sa ating mga units ng armed forces. There will be, yung sa air, unang-una sa air, there will be 4 sorties today. Susuyurin nila yung coast ng Ticao Island at saka yung coast ng Masbate. Batay sa mga tides at saka sa kuryente, maaari na dito natangay si Secretary Robredo o kaya ang mga piloto na surviving. No? So, hinati-hati nila ito area by area, both sa flights, air, at saka sa surface. No? Yung flights, there was a sortie at 6 a.m. Huey ng Philippine Air Force, negative ang findings. There was another sortie at 11 a.m. Yung Bolco ng Philippine Navy, negative pa rin ang finding. There is another sortie now at 2 p.m. Bolco ng Philippine Coast Guard, pasimula pa lang yan. And there will be a last sortie for the day of 4 p.m. MG520 ng Philippine Air Force. No? Itong area na ito, itong haba na ito is about 30 nautical miles. 30 nautical miles. Iikutin ito ng chopper. Sisiguraduhin niya na walang survivor na nasa mga coves or isolated areas dito sa coast na ito. No? Dagdag pa doon, yung provincial government na-notify lahat ng mga coastal barangay captains in these areas na in kaso na may makita silang mga debris or survivors or victims ay tumawag ka agad sa Provincial Disaster and Relief Management Office, no. Doon naman sa surface ships, no, the Philippine Navy, Philippine Coast Guard, hinati-hati nga itong area na ito, A, B, C, D, E. Area A will be by diesel fast craft. That's about 40 square nautical miles. Yan ang pinaka nasa baba rito. Area B is the search and rescue vessel of the Philippine Coast Guard, 3504. That's about 45 square nautical miles. Area C will be the 374 ship of the Philippine Navy. That's about 85 nautical miles. Area D, number 375 ng Philippine Navy. That's about 105 nautical miles. At saka Area E, pinakamalaki is about, that's the Philippine ship 378. That's about 275 nautical miles. Magbabalik-balik sila dyan to see if there's any debris, oil slick, any indication na natangay dyan ang mga survivors, no? So basically, that's it, no? As you know, ang Pangulo nag-overnight dito, concerned siya, patuloy niyang sinusubaybayan, minomonitor at sinusundan lahat ng mga developments dito sa search and rescue operation na ito. Did I miss anything? Or pretty much that's it. That's it. That's the 2 p.m. Briefing. We'll take a few questions if you have any. Yes, Maki. So far, hindi naman, no? Nakita natin na versus yesterday, a little bit more clouds, a little bit more wind ngayon. Pero the seas are still somewhat flat, so okay naman. Hindi naman na problem yung ating mga divers or ang ating sea operations. The remote operated vehicle is on its way, no? Nag-offer ang US government. I just finished speaking with Ambassador Harry Thomas. Yung kanilang offer, may isa sa katuparan na nga at tinanggap ng ating pamalaan. Yung equipment mismo ay nasa sa Subic. Yung team na marunong mag-operate nito at marunong mag-interpret ng kung ano ang lumalabas sa radiograph, sa screen, ay dadating sa Subic ng 5 p.m. No? I-enter nila yung data. Kailangan nila i-enter yung data ng contour ng seafloor dito sa computer nila. Gagawin nila yan all night tonight. 5 a.m. lilipad sila tungo dito so that beginning mid-morning tomorrow, makakapag-operate na sila ng ROV. Ang depth na maaabot ng ROV is up to 500 meters. So that's about 1,500 feet. Yeah.
If I'm wrong, my understanding is that this will go on as search and rescue hanggang wala pa nakikita ng mga debris or bodies.
Well, that's a decision. May mga protocol naman na ganyan. And that's a decision that will be made as the time becomes necessary. No? But right now, ang designation ito is search and rescue. Kita naman ninyo na bagamat finofocus, maaari yung nakita ninyo, yung mga diving dito, pero tuloy-tuloy ang air search at saka tuloy-tuloy din ang surface search. Well, it will happen when it happens. Huwag na tayo masyadong mag-project kung kailan man yan. Nandito tayo ngayon para gawin ang lahat na makitang ligtas si Sec. Jess Robredo at ang dalawa pang piloto.
May sinasabi sir na may fault line daw dyan sa lugar na yan. Hindi kaya possibility na maaaring doon napunta at baka naupa yung fault line na yun lalo na nagkaroon ng earthquake.
Hindi ko lang alam kung fault line yan o hindi. But clearly, there is a canyon. No? Kasi from about 250, 80 meters yan eh. So 80 times 3 is about 240, say 250 feet. Bigla na lang magiging 1,000 feet eh. So there is a underwater canyon and it's even probably deeper further out. No? So whether that in fact is a fault line or not, di natin masasabi. What we do know is talagang bumabagsak yan at this point. That's about 250 meters to 300 meters from this site to that site. Diyan magiging very useful yung ROV. Kasi hindi nakakayanin ng human ito, ROV na ang gagamitin dyan. Well, kita naman ninyo, very professional yung ating services, both uniformed and civilian. Nakita ninyo na merong plano, very professional nilang sinusunod yung mga protocols. Hati-hati ang trabaho, batay dun sa kakayahan ng mga equipment at saka ng personnel. Yung experienced divers ng both Coast Guard, PNP, at saka nung Navy, sila yung pumupunta sa mas malalim, yung mga less experienced, doon naman sila sa mas mababaw. So very, very good ang coordination. And masasabi naman na we are doing all that we can and ginagawa ang lahat para maging matagumpay itong search and rescue na ito. Well, ang presidente concerned of course sa family ni Sec Jess Robredo and of course also sa piloto at sa co-pilot, no? Sabi nga niya, to quote him, is that Sec Jess is not just kawani niya sa gobyerno or katrabaho niya, no? Hindi lamang personal friend, pero parang comrade, parang talagang kasama niyang handa na ma-persecute, kasamang magpakulong, sumama sa lahat ng mga mahahalagang mga isinulong na advokasya para sa kabutihan ng ating bansa, no? So talagang emotionally engaged siya dito sa search and rescue na ito. Kita mo naman ang Pangulo, very somber, very serious, very professional, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sa kanyang mga tanong sa ating military leaders and other civilian leaders. So very, very concerned siya. This is the 19th. This is August 19 at 2 p.m. Doon nakita yung papel. Hindi, wala. Nobody has seen the wreckage. These are the these are the data points. The first data point is the skid marks. The first data point is what the witnesses say was where the plane hit the water. At more or less dito rin nakita yung wing part na nakita at dito rin na rescue si John Abrasado. The next data point is yung skid marks na nakita nung isang diver, no? The next data point is the oil slick. So all of these things are man-made, di ba? The next data point is the piece of paper that was found on the seabed. Kaya batay dyan at batay din sa logic nung tides and currents, more or less ang calculation is somewhere here in this grid, one kilometer by 1 kilometer grid, somewhere here, hopefully, is the highest probability. Ngayon, malalaman natin yan in about 30 to 40 minutes. Kung may nakita man dito, kung wala, then we have to recalculate and find out, or baka the ROV will indicate something dito where it is much deeper.
Scrap metals?
Meron din mga parang scrap metals, mga metallic objects, obviously man-made, hindi nature, that are parang medyo nakakalat in this area. Yes. Obviously, iba yung pag-recover ng wreckage, iba yung pag-recover ng victims if they're inside the wreckage. No? Unang priority natin are the victims, of course. And then the wreckage, iba pang specialized equipment siguro ang kailanganin dyan. But yung victims, if they are in fact inside the wreckage, would be the priority. It's possible. pero nakita naman ninyo, yesterday, it was roughly, yung search grid was roughly 5 kilometers one dimension and about 2 kilometers deep, no? So that was about 10 square kilometers. Ngayon, nakafocus tayo more or less sa 6 square kilometers, but really sa 1 square kilometer in this particular area. So it's a good sign na all of the information na-collate, na-analyze, yung ating Navy, Coast Guard, Air Force, tinitingnan nila yung hangin, yung tides, yung currents, pinoproject nila kung saan kaya tinangay yung eroplano, kaya narating nila itong area na ito.
Sir, follow-up question lang. Kung may possibility, sir, na ma-disqualify yung coverage area, inform na rin sa halimbawa yung residents na Sorsogon, Albay, or Sawan.
I'm sorry?
Sir, kung may possibility na ma-disqualify.
Well, they will make that decision. I'm sorry?
Inform na po ba yung...
Hindi pa. Kung a-analyze muna natin kung ano yung resulta, ano yung data, binabasa din nila yung sonar. Magmula kanina, may sonar na pabalik-balik. In fact, 3 na yung sonar equipment na nagpapabalik-balik dyan. So, ina-analyze lahat yan ng ating mga kawani sa Navy, sa Coast Guard, sa Air Force, sa Army. Lahat ng nakakaintindi nitong mga technical na ito. At batay sa ebidensya, batay sa kung anong nakikita, then they will make a decision kung ililipat nila dito, or ROV muna dito sa mas malalim. So they will make those appropriate decisions. By the way, one other piece of information, no? Lahat ng ating mga eroplano dito sa bansa natin, may regulasyon tayo na nagsasabi kailangan may dala silang electronic ELT, di ba? Transmission. ELT, Electronic Location Transmitter, no? Kung at makakuha ng lisensya na lumipad ang isang eroplano, supposed to be may electronic location transmitter. Ito'y designed na pag na-aksidente or tumama sa tubig, mag-e-emit siya ng signal. At itong signal na ito, napipick up ito internationally, no? There is no such signal that has been picked up. So hindi natin alam, wag tayo mag-speculate, hindi natin alam kung hindi nasira or basta hindi umandar o kaya walang ELT itong eroplanong ito, no? But if you are compliant with the CAAP rules, you're supposed to have an ELT na mag-e-emit. But so far, not Hong Kong, not Japan, nakakatanggap ng ELT signal dito sa eroplanong ito. Alam mo, ang makakatulong sa atin dyan, former kasalukuyang congressman pero former Navy man, no? Annapolis graduate at former Navy man, Congressman Jun Abaya, yung sa sonar, maybe you can say a few words kung ano yung...
Magandang hapon. Sa briefing ho ng military kanina, apparently, dahil sa datong ito, dito po pinapatakbo yung sonar-equipped vessel. Nahiram po natin yan from also volunteers. And ngayon yata ikinaraga dun sa Finmera, the civilian ship out there. So dito nagko-concentrate at nava-validate based on sonar readings na malaki yung reflection na dinadala rito. So kagabi rin may mga balita dumarating na additional metal debris were seen through sonar. I think eventually that will come into the picture, no? We don't know yet how the aircraft, whether it's intact or has broken apart. Kung umabot man dito, if it goes ROV, so it becomes more challenging. So you got to go deep with heavy lifting capability. So hindi pa natin nakikita kung paano nabiyak o buo pa. But I'm sure as more information will come in, hopefully bodies will be recovered. Then salvage issues will come in. Well, ang sonar kasi is not really that exact na parang picture na kita mo talaga delineated. These are reflections from bottom, so it's sound waves. So they're not really clearly defined. So, ang nakikita, and 5 minutes ago nakuusap ko rin si Secretary Gasmin, may mga reports that there are rock formations there. So, hindi po gumagalaw. Based on sonar, it has not moved. So that is good news for us. Dahil kung tingnan natin yung tinakbo ito, medyo nakakaba. Within 24 hours, ito na yung tinakbo nung supposed wreckage. But just a few minutes ago, ang report is hindi gumagalaw yung object na yun, kung ano man po yun.
We'll do another briefing as the information comes in. General, you... General, may dagdag pa kayo? So, hanggang dyan lang muna tayo, and then we'll do another briefing. Thank you very much.
Ang inyo pong napanood ay ang press conference ni DOTC Secretary Marrojas kaugnay ng search and rescue operations para kay DILG Secretary Robredo. Sinabi ni Secretary Rojas na masyado raw malalim ang binagsakan ng eroplano ni Secretary Robredo. Ito ay nasa 250 hanggang 300 feet sa ilalim ng dagat. At dito nga rin ang hinihinalang kinaroroonan ngayon o lokasyon ng eroplano. Dito rin daw kasi sa vicinity na ito malapit natagpuan ang flight manifest kahapon. Itong lugar din daw na ito ang kasalukuyang tinututukan ng mga diver. Paniwala ni Rojas, may underwater canyon doon. May pagkakataon din daw kasing umaabot ang lalim nito sa 1,000 feet. Nagsasalita naman ang mga local at foreign rescue team sa pagsuyod sa coast ng Ticao Island at Masbate Island sa paghahanap kay Robredo at 2 pilotong kasama niya. May nakita ring skid mark ng eroplano at oil spill sa seabed. Sa lugar na ito rin nakuha ang napingas na pakpak ng eroplanong sinakyan ni Robredo. Siniguro rin ni Rojas na may paparating na ring karagdagang breathing gas na ginagamit ng mga divers sa pagsisid. Sa ngayon, 3 sonar equipment din ang ginagamit sa paghahanap sa eroplano. Nasabihan na rin ng lokal na pamahalaan ang barangay officials at mga residente sa coastal areas para ipagbigay alam sa command post ang anumang balitang masasagap nila mula sa kanilang mga lugar. Samantala, magpapatuloy daw ang search and rescue operation para kay Secretary Robredo at 2 pilotong kasama nito.